This is the Tigers POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Detroit Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Sunday night baseball, and Tarik Skubal does it again. A record-breaking performance, and the Detroit Tigers shut out the Minnesota Timberwolves and make a statement for not just the rest of the AL Central, because that statement's been made, but how about the entire baseball world in prime time? And the Tigers come away with the 3-0 win. Welcome into a live Locked On Tigers POSTCAST Sunday night edition. I am your host, Jake Riepma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Riepma. We're going to talk about Tarik Skubal, and it's the 9th time this season the Tigers have shut out the opposition. We'll discuss that. Now, Kerry Carpenter leaving the game early. We'll break that down. It's a series win. Of course, I'll have my biggest talking point, our turning point, and our player of the game. It's all next. So buckle up, dial it in. It's the Locked On Tigers POSTCAST, your post-game destination for all things Detroit Tigers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team each and every day, free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Shout out to the real ones that tune in to Locked On Tigers every day with Scott Bentley and the Locked On Tigers post-game show, the POSTCAST with me, Jake Riepma. And when you have the best record in baseball, these shows are fun. It's easy. Tarik Skubal, 13 strikeouts. Are you kidding me? The dude was unconscious. I would say I'm surprised, but I'm really not. And you know where we're going from this one. It is our biggest talking point.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Here it is. I put history made on the marquee, on the thumbnail with Tarik Skubal's picture, because it was a first in Tigers history. Because are you ready for this one? Now, he does lose the no-hitter. He goes through, let's just give his final line, 7 innings of shutout baseball. He scatters just the 1 hit and 13 strikeouts. Incredible stuff from Tarik Skubal, who gets his 10th win of the season. You love that. And did I mention just the 1 walk? This guy is unconscious. He did it all in under 100 pitches, 93 pitches of these 7 shutouts, scattering just the 1 hit. So what do I mean by history made? The Tigers PR tweeted this out. Tarik Skubal, first pitcher in Tigers history with 13-plus strikeouts in a game while allowing no more than 1 hit. Hashtag Rep Detroit. Tarik Skubal does it again. And listen, pay the man. I know it's almost like a rinse repeat anytime Tarik Skubal starts a game, because he's that good and does it night in and night out every time you hand him the ball. But you gotta write this man a blank check, make him a Tiger for life. I don't care what it costs. Sell some more pizzas at Little Caesars, and we'll be good to go with Tarik Skubal as the starting pitcher, rocking and repping the Old English D for his entire career. Now, the other parts of this game, you get some power from Riley Greene and Kerry Carpenter. Riley Greene continues to just mash and continues to be the all-star. Go ahead and give Kerry Carpenter that home run early in the game. In the home half of the first inning, he recognized what had happened in the first 2 batters of the game, and then he got a changeup that he did not miss. Now, I know Sunday Night Baseball, we miss our guys, Jason Benetti and Andy Dirks, and the FanDuel Sports Network crew, Daniela Bruce as well, but nice to have a little ESPN broadcast, switch it up a little bit with Carl Ravitch and the guys in the booth. And just a different broadcast, different perspective, that sort of thing. And I think the post-game interview with Riley Greene on SportsCenter, I mean, you get the sense that Riley Greene's a humble, easygoing guy, and we've always had that sense with him. But again, on a national level, there's something to be said about your team being the story on SportsCenter and the feature on the national show that is SportsCenter after Sunday Night Baseball. I know it's a little thing, but I just felt like the rest of the country could get introduced to what we're privy to every 5th game, and what we're excited about night in and night out, with the Tigers being the best team in baseball. And I thought Kevin O'Connor's little note on SportsCenter was interesting, that it's not just this year either. This is since August 11th. No team in Major League Baseball has a better record than the Detroit Tigers. August 11th, of course, of last season, so of 2024. But that's a lot to unpack, a lot to break down and diagnose. But you get some home runs from Riley Greene, Kerry Carpenter, and then the RBI triple from Kerry Carpenter. Tarik Skubal goes 7 scoreless with the 13 strikeouts. Tommy Kahnle gets a nice double play in the 8th inning, which shout out to Spencer Torkelson. Great play from him to start the double play and get back to the bag to finish it. And it's a quick game. I mean, here we are, 9:42, and we are well into the Locked On Tigers postcast, and that game was moving. But lots of people wanting to weigh in, and why wouldn't we? Because Tarik Skubal's dominant. The Tigers win. They take another series, a little off day tomorrow before a 6-game road trip beginning with 3 in our nation's capital against the Washington Nationals. But let's get into the comments. Jason Walter says, pay the man, Pizza Boy. Great game. Fishing with Shredder says, hopefully Carpenter's okay. I feel like all we need at the trade deadline is a big name starter and a reliever, and we'll be a menace in the playoffs. I love all the guys in our lineup right now. I mean, with Matt Vierling back, I'm inclined to agree with that as well. I don't necessarily feel as strongly as I did with the Bo Bichette trade rumblings earlier in the month and even in May, but I think now the priority becomes pitching, albeit a strikeout guy in the bullpen would be awesome to add to the top portion of the bullpen with Will Vest and Tommy Kahnle, because after that we've seen it has been a fall off. Tyler Holton just hasn't been the same guy. So yeah, I would agree. This is the year. There's no other way to put it. Alex Bregman, of course, in that discussion as well. I wouldn't hate that. The Tigers have the best farm system in all of baseball, and I'm not out here campaigning to trade Max Clark or Kevin McGonigal like everybody else might be. I shouldn't say everybody else, but like other people have. But there's a wealth of talent and a number of weapons in the Tigers farm system that you could use to maybe bring in some big name pieces to help this Tigers team bring home the first World Series title since 1984. Now, and again, I don't feel bad saying that out loud. You watch the same baseball team I just did tonight, the stranglehold they have on the American League Central, the best record in baseball, really, really tough at home. You add a bona fide starting pitcher and a strikeout bullpen guy to that rotation, and look out. I feel really good about this Tigers team, and I feel really good regardless of what happens at the deadline. But at the same time, I've said it at length that this is a make it or break it, kind of a Scott Harris legacy defining trade deadline to see what he pulls off for the Detroit Tigers to improve already as the best team in baseball. Now, Demetrius McNeil, Tigers win Sunday Night Baseball. Hey, DJ, play that song. Tigers won again. The dude is up next. Newhouser, Lolich, and Verlander. Skubal is the first Tiger with an outing of 13 Ks and 1 hit. Unbelievable. Yeah, that is insane. I mentioned the stat earlier before I saw the comment with the number of incredible pitchers the Detroit Tigers have had through the years. I mean, Max Scherzer, even, I know he wasn't here a really long time, David Price, and I'm not putting him on that same list. I'm just going through the era that I was fortunate enough to kind of grow up with the Detroit Tigers. Some of the best pitchers, even Kenny Rogers, and I know the majority of his time was with the Texas Rangers, but that World Series performance he had in 2006, the only game the Tigers won against the Cardinals, I was there. Insane stuff. This is the Detroit Tigers are one of the more historic franchises in all of baseball. So, of course, they have a number of incredible pitchers, but Tarik Skubal is doing things we've never seen done on the mound before in a Tiger uniform. Stewart is up next. He almost had a no-no. The one hitter, absolutely. Gareth Ridings, another Cy Young performance from Tarik Skubal. Rufus T. Cat says, I'm one happy cat. Shout out to the pen for not caving under the pressure and erasing Scoob's night. YouTube user says Minnesota was never in the game. Drum says pay Scoob, Greene, and Carpenter. I agree. Pay him. And Stewart says it's BS that Carp just gets his head right and then bam, injury. Yeah, I mean, nothing has been made of exactly what the injury is or the extent of it. Obviously, he leaves the game. That's not great, and it's been a lingering hamstring all season. So we'll see how it plays out. But it was a tough sight to see him being removed. Max Splicer's in the house. He said, what up, Jake? Scoob. Good stuff. Braylon Dennis says, I am super upset I couldn't watch the game. Oh, man. Well, here's the highlights for you. Skubal strikeout times 13, Riley Greene home run, Kerry Carpenter home run, then Riley Greene home run, and then, of course, your RBI triple from Kerry Carpenter before he's removed from the game. A couple more comments here. Barn Dune says Skubal shine. Can't wait for his eventual no-hitter. It's coming for sure. And a couple more here. Cole Zingler says, big night from Scoob, another dinger from Riley, and another series win. Like I said, I mean, this Tiger team is fun. It makes my job easy on the postcast, and we have a lot of fun because Tarik Skubal's just doing it. And how was he doing it tonight? Every single pitch was so good. We know about the changeup. We know about the velocity of his fastball. In fact, he's on pace to set a record for average fastball velocity from a left-hander. It's better than 97 miles per hour. And these are all things we know, but when you get to see it in action, it's just so it's poetry in motion. It's almost breathtaking. So if anybody was at the game, let me know. I always love hearing from fans. And like I said, Sunday Night Baseball, that's a cool environment as well. We're going to keep the lights on. We are going to have our player of the game, one guess of who that might be. And we'll have our turning point and look ahead to the series against the Washington Nationals. Don't go anywhere. The Locked On Tigers post-game show continues in just a moment. Hey, this episode of the Locked On Tigers Postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Summer sports, they're in full swing. And whether you're all about baseball under the lights like we had tonight, Sunday Night Baseball, golf on the green like we had in Detroit, oh my goodness, Rocket Mortgage Classic was in Detroit as well, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You've already following the action as it is, so why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned on the beach. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps getting fresh with new daily promotions. You got to check it out. So many fun ways to bet. And if you're new to FanDuel, new customers can just bet for $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. New customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or just visit FanDuel.com to get started. Tigers all over the Twins. 3-0 the final, and they take the series. Sunday Night Baseball. Jake Rietma on the live Locked On Tigers postcast. Couple more comments to get to. And Dan Mert says, Skubal being Skubal, Aroldis Chapman would be a great pickup in our bullpen. I agree. That would be a nice little addition to the bullpen and a guy that has proven postseason experience and is a force coming out of that bullpen. All right, let's get into our player of the game because we all know what's coming there.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And it's Tarik Skubal. To nobody's surprise, he just does it again. He does what he does, and he's the best pitcher in baseball. He's on his way to a second consecutive Cy Young, and what he means to the Old English D cannot be understated. He is a proven winner. He's a stopper. Every time he goes out, you just know that there's that electricity in the ballpark. There's that sparkle in his eye that he's just going to dominate. And you know, when he struck out the final batter in that seventh inning, he knew that he had a little smirk. There's nobody that can even touch him. And it's just incredible stuff. I'm running out of ways to describe his dominance and his excellence that we see on a consistent baseball basis, night in and night out. How about our turning point?
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Hey, DJ, spin that track. I guess that's what happens sometimes when you're self-producing. So bear with me on that one. But turning point, all right, I'll say the old cliche on this show. Turning point's when Tarik Skubal towed the rubber in the top of the first inning because it was lights out, game over for the Minnesota Twins after that. I mean, no other way to put it. I guess you could say when Kerry Carpenter went yard in the bottom of the first because there was no looking back after that. The Tigers were not to be denied tonight, and Minnesota simply stood no chance based on the success that Tarik Skubal was having, combined with the offensive support. Throw in Tommy Canley there in the 8th inning and Will Vest just for good measure in the 9th inning. And you have kind of how you draw it up, right? I mean, that was as quick and efficient of a baseball game as you will see. And I know it was a short amount of time, but the fans that were in attendance, they got a treat in watching Tarik Skubal do something no other Tiger pitcher had ever done in the 13 strikeouts with just the 1 hit. So incredible stuff there. Incredible stuff from the Tigers this weekend. They just continue to win series. It's another series win for the Detroit Tigers. And like I mentioned, looking ahead to that schedule with the Washington Nationals up next after an off day tomorrow. But how about the series that the Tigers lost that series in Tampa Bay, still salvaged the finale of that game. But other than that, they beat the Twins, the Athletics, the Pirates, lost the series against the Reds, took the series against the Orioles, took the series against the Cubs, split the series against the White Sox, took the series against the Royals, swept the series against the Giants. And you just go back and back, and that's why this team is so good. They just keep winning series and doing it at a consistent level, and that's why they have a stranglehold on the American League Central. I mean, listen to the American League Central standings. It's kind of insane because you talk about a team, and obviously things can happen. There's a lot of things that can happen, and I'm not suggesting that, but I am stating in the month of June to have an 11.5 game lead on the division is pretty impressive, with the Twins 12.5 back, the Royals 13.5 back, and then the White Sox 24.5 games back. This is all in June. So again, I'm not crowning anyone. I'm not declaring anything. I'm simply stating that on June 29th, to have an 11.5 game lead in the division is pretty impressive. Now, looking ahead to the series against the Washington Nationals, because after the off day tomorrow, that's where the Tigers will be, in our nation's capital. Jack Flaherty will open the series on Tuesday. That's a 6:45 first pitch. And after that, Dietrich Enns is the only other announced starter. He will pitch on Thursday. Not sure who will go on Wednesday. So enjoy the off day tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. Hopefully you had a great weekend. I know my weekend was great when it's a Tigers series win, and Sunday night baseball, a little bit different to the routine, but hey, enjoyed it. So appreciate everyone tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe. Like today's video. It does something with those YouTube algorithms. You guys know I don't know that stuff, but I know you're supposed to like the video, so do it. And go ahead and tell a friend about the broadcast, or the postcast is probably a better way to put it. Our post-game show immediately following every Tigers game, dedicated to the Detroit Tigers. Check out Locked On Tigers with Scott Bentley. Enjoy your weekend, and talk to you on Tuesday when the Tigers take on the Nationals. Tigers win this one 3-0 over the Twins. Tarik Skubal is not conscious. 13 more strikeouts. First Tigers pitcher ever. 13 strikeouts and 1 hit. See you next time on Locked On Tigers Post.